So, hi, my name is Matej, and today I will just tell you about our project, the Vue Polka.js, what we done. So, I'm Matej coming from Bratislava. I found back in times the Progress Bar hackerspace, and we've been just working on this thing. And you're missing emojis, whatever. Okay, so agenda for this talk is like how we just started with this project, the proof of work, and working on the milestone 1, 2, and the challenges in debugging, and what's next and what we plan. So, the last summer, I got the chance to do some research on the Substrate developer ecosystem, and I just started digging more and learn more what's like out there. So I just learned about the ink, which is like nice DZL, but have dragons included at that time. So thanks the Sean for the great help when I tried the Flipcoin demo. It was really fun. At that time, I learned more about the Substrate runtime modules. At that time, it was called the SRML, now pellets, now frames. And it was like great extension for your runtime. So I just, cool things. So like NPMs for that blockchains could be really nice. And then I learned about more the trust wormholes when I just thinking about the more interoperability between the other parachains. And I was just looking for that, wow. And then I just learned more about the memory safety, but I think that Schemes butter is included from the Rust and so on. So I would like also thanks by these slides because I just promised them to Matej and Jacob from Progress Bar that I had this opportunity to be here. So they made it to the first slide, so thank you. So, okay, I've been interested more in the ecosystem, so I just started digging in the accounts and all the operations around. So I just started doing the creation, sign, verify, and all the generic stuff. So I just been inspired by the Edgeware community, and they've been just using the Sub0.1 CLI for generating accounts, which is like safest method to generate your private keys, not using this web thing. So I just made the thing, I started digging deeper in the React code, and I just found there is the Rust thing embedded through the WASM crypto to use in the browser. And I was thinking to use it through Vue because at that time it was the language I just known. And I was like, okay, what about trying recreating it? And then I started digging in, and then I just made this demo, which actually works. You can try yourself. And probably we can make the translation for the Asian market, so actually nice placeholder how you can use your sub key as well. So it was just a whole nice idea. So then I just started digging deeper and had idea what if we can make it more useful and more wider community. So I know the whole dashboard and Polka.js apps were just only in React, so we just get in chat with the Web3F, and we just submitted the grant, we just created domain and started the work, so let's deliver the things. Then we start reading the modules, what we are doing there. So we just set the repos, deployment pipeline, documentation, generating documentation from the code, and we started on the modules. But then we start digging deeper and find out that a lot of the code is actually quite unstable, and it was really the bleeding edge development, because if we just try something, next week it didn't work. So it was like funny. So at that time, we know that we already learned the part of the Rust implementation from the keyring. So actually the build few parts was quite easy, and that we actually were used from the sub-key what we learned there. And we started digging and reversing more code for the other modules as well, how actually do they work and how they interact with the parachains. And what was actually interesting part was the debugging in the unstable development and environment we know, and actually went for unstable things as well. So wasn't the fun, because sometimes when you load the WASM crypto for the Rust, actually didn't load as you'd expected, and some libraries were quite bigger than we missed some optimizations at the time, so we couldn't ship that so big code. So we started dig deeper and what could be actually there. So we find that there were actually some missing methods which could be like handy, and we would like to keep the same way as the React. So actually you get the same interface when you're building your UI app if you are choose React or Vue. So, but at Vue.js approach was different here. So sometimes libraries didn't work, and sometimes it was like sketchy, so yeah. And okay, so, and sometimes even the Chrome DevTools didn't work for us, so first time occurred that the DevTools just crashed. So Yeah, so, and finally we made it, and keyring and all the identicons and settings just started working, so we just delivered our free package and we went to the milestone 2. So on milestone 2, it was quite fun because we started interacting with the Kusama, and we finally find out that the Kusama is pretty advancing faster than our team. So we had to constantly update the types, and sometimes it didn't work as expected. So we need to chase the Jako and his team, and they are very pretty fast in this. It never worked like machine, so. So milestone 2, getting better here. Actually, there was other things. It was related to Kusama as well. So actually, we really don't know what is here. So it just didn't work, and that was it. So okay, and I think the last thing where we are right now, we are digging through the Explorer thing, and sometimes as you need to know what's actually our best peer block, you need to know to connect to as most of peers as you to determine what's like this newest block is in your neighborhood. So it was quite fun, and sometimes actually the DevTools froze again. So actually I think we are just missing some optimizations, or we're doing some we are missing some performance optimizations. I don't know. If you have any advice, just let me know. So that's regarding the Vue Polkadot development. And I just played my lightning talk for other pitch decks, what we are actually doing research for. And I would like to introduce you to our maybe parachain we don't know. And we'd like, during the Polkadot, we'd like to introduce another projects, and we can actually build our dreams. So we came up with the idea to leverage a substrate to something big. Our initial idea was to build the metadata parachain for Fireball network that hot rocks from the sky. And well, who would like pay for the data? It happens once in a while, sorry, I know. And the first ideation was to connect all the data silos from space agencies together. What could be harder, right? But the size, average size for cities like Bratislava is like 300 teras per month, which is really big. Then I find out that actually there is one team called that hello team, LGEM, that actually they're working on implementation of the DAT, and if I get it right, it should be something like Filecoin, right? So what we plan to do here, we would like to be like curated interface for all the space data for the Earth observations, because we know that a lot of institutions are making investments based on them. So actually we'd like create some sort of the marketplace where actually you have like valuated data from this raw processed data or something like that. So we just came up with the ideation for the tokenomics. We are really new here, so if you can recommend somebody who can actually help us, it will be really nice. And we'd like to propose some fee markets for data vendors, some continuous funding for the continuous organization or something like that. So we are really experimenting here. And I think very last slides is like what's actually our purpose. We would like to do something, let's say the discoverable metadata market, and for the machine learning. So actually you can pay your machine learning algos, fill up your wallets, and actually they can process your data. So actually you chip in the coins and get some useful data out of it. And actually our huge value proposition here is actually that we would like to have the traceability of all satellite data, because now normally the REST point doesn't offer that. And actually, what is our progress? We got picked by the ESA. We got the value from the world from space. We got the guys from who are doing the crowdsourced satellite network using the state channels for the Ethereum, the Homeport guys from Bulgaria. We got in Bratislava guys from SolarGiz who have bankable solar data, and the guys who are doing the climate reports. It's actually our first pilot partners. So, and very last slides, follow us somewhere on the Star Mesh. So we are still looking for the funding, and thank you for your attention. I have still 3 seconds. Thank you.